how to move to the center. Past few sessions, I have been explaining to you the outer and inner dimension, the circumference and the center, the relationship between the two. I had explained most of us live on the circumference, but in the process have failed that the circumference cannot exist without the center. Start with a simple example. On a piece of paper, you take a pen and make a point. It is known as point or dot. Am I right? A small dot which has apparently seems to be no dimension, no map, no dimension, simply seems a dot. But do you know what are the capabilities of the dot that you had placed on the piece of paper? It can create enormous, infinite circles around. The moment you convert this dot into a center and using the geometrical apparatus of compass, you can use that point to draw circles by varying the radius, by changing the radius, the distance from that dot that has now become the center of the circle. You can draw infinite circumferences. In spiritual terminology, we can call these circumference by different names: ego, guilt, anxiety, lust, this and that. If you are, but as long as you are moving on the periphery, on the circumference, you forget that this circumference cannot exist without the center. The circumference that you call as ego cannot exist without a center. When there is a false understanding of the center, that which revolves around that center becomes the circumference of ego. You have a wrong identification, wrong understanding of your center, and that circle that you draw using that center is known as ego. So the center is the same. By varying the distance from the center to the circumference, you can draw infinite circumferences. Each circumference, each circle manifests certain qualities of the center. The center has infinite qualities. The moment this is first, you have to discover the center. The center is the cosmic center of the existence. You can call it Shiva, the center of the existence. When this your inner center is connected to the existential center, which is Shiva, and this center that you call as Shiva is Shiva Lingam. It has two energies. The masculine energy of Shiva as consciousness, and Shakti, the field of activity, the feminine energy. When these two energies interact with one another, an infinite number of circumferences are created. So the important thing is, you have to know something that was a dot which did not have any boundary around it. It was known as a dot or a point, but the same point you can use, your inner point, you can use to draw different circumferences. How you do it? Someone comes and asks you, what is your name? My name is Dr. So-and-so. My name is Mr. X. I'm a journalist. I'm a cardiologist. Is your name is cardiologist? Cardiologist is a degree by which you make, which is your profession. But your name is neither Mr. or Mrs. My name is Tao. This was a vision which one of the seekers during her teens living in Germany, one day she asked existence, I would like to know my future master. She had a vision. And in the vision, she found herself wandering in a forest, and she reached a clearing. There she saw a man with a long beard standing. This person was attracted to him, went nearby and asked, what is your name? The person said, my name is Tao, not Mr. Tao or Tao the Enlightened Master, simply Tao. 3 letters, T-A-O, Tao. That is not your real identity. What is your real identity? Aham Brahmasmi. I am ever expanding consciousness. But that everybody is. But are you aware of this process of no understanding meaning of Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi Shvet Ketu? If you understand this and the process has begun, you will say, my name is this. No Mr., no qualifications, no degrees. So, what the circle that you create around that center has the fragrance of your innerness, the real splendor, the beauty, the fragrance that the center has. The inner flower has blossomed, and with that you draw a circumference. When you say, I am Mr. Such and Such, I am doctor, you try to tell somebody you are not sure of your inner identity, you are not sure of your connection with the innerness, so you add the superficial. This is how you draw the circle of ego, ignorance. Ego is ornament of ignorance. Ego is the ornament of ignorance, and ignorance nourishes and nurtures ego. Together, they create the entire web around you. Ego and ignorance go together. The moment ego vanishes, ignorance too disappears. And if ignorance disappears, ego too disappears. If ego disappears, ignorance can no more be there. And if ignorance disappears, ego can never be there. So the process is, you have to how to move from the center, from the circumference to the center. You're living on the circumference. Living on the circumference, you live the life of conflict, chaos, misery. A disconnection with the center is like a laptop which has lost its charger and its battery cannot be charged. You need a charger. And what is the charger? Is your understanding. That charger is your intense quest to keep your battery charged. And for that, the terminal is your center. You have to connect. You have one terminal, but you have many devices. That's how you are. So, whichever device you want to charge, you use the terminal of that device to connect it to the same charger. Charger is the same. The charger with the terminal for iPhone, iPad, MacBook is the same. If you want to charge your MacBook, you disconnect it from the iPhone and connect it to the Mac or to iPad. So, electrical terminal is the center, and the charger that connects your device to the center, to the electrical terminal, is known as radius. You can call it for understanding purposes. My purpose is to sow the seed of awakening in you, in the barren soils of thy inner sanctum. Oft do I use the manure of compassion. Then one day seed of awakening I sow. Then one day seed of awakening I sow. With the rain of thy infinite bliss, the seed shall sprout one day. And then reckoning shall reap the fruit at the dawn of new awakening, when your inner flower has blossomed. You will know it. Now the flower is beginning to blossom. The bud has its own beauty. But the bud has not blossomed. Its beauty is immense. The gardener picks up the buds, knowing its inner qualities, then uses the process of incubation for that bud to blossom into a flower to spread its beauty and fragrance. This is the rule of an awakened one. Now, how to move from the circumference to the center? It's a simple technique. technique is very simple method, but it works miraculously. Miraculously. You have the terminal within you, a center known as hara, which is 2 inches below the solar plexus. Solar plexus is the center that generates the energy, conserves it, and distributes it throughout the entire system within you. And the heart center through which you operate, the seat of compassion, the ultimate flowering. It must have a way to communicate, how to express your compassion in an easy, understandable manner. This requires the art of communication. Communion is the art to connect to your inner self, and communication is the way that you connect in the beginning to connect to the outer world. So what you have to do, simple method, but it works miraculously. It was told nearly 5,000 years back by Shiva to his consort Devi. This formed the subject matter of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, and anyone can try it. There is no danger in it. The first thing is to choose an easy, relaxed position. Relax in a position that is easy for you. The position does not create a discomfort. Now, Buddha sat in a particular posture to attain to enlightenment. In that posture, enlightenment happened. He ate a particular kind of a porridge. So, Buddhist monk sit in lotus posture and follow as long as the master is alive, he is a living flame. And the moment he is no more, we transform these into rituals. A posture that is suitable for Gautam may not be suitable for you. You have to find your own suitable, relaxed position in which you can sit down. Do not try any particular posture or yoga asana that anybody can tell you. Buddha sits in a particular posture. It is easy for him. Also can become easy for you if you practice it for a time being. But it is in the beginning. But in the very beginning, it will not be easy for you, and specifically for a Westerner who is not accustomed to sitting in the lotus posture or sitting squatted on the ground. And there is no need to practice it. Start from any posture that comes easy for you right now. There is no need to struggle with the posture, because posture is not important. What happens in that posture? Something can happen when your posture is relaxed. If the posture is not relaxed, nothing will happen, because your focus will be on the discomfort that this posture is creating. You can sit in an easy, sit in an easy chair. Remember the word sitting on the chair and in the chair. When you're sitting on the chair, it carries a different connotation. When you say sit in the chair, it's a different. Another time I'll explain the two prepositions, on the chair, in the chair. And just the way I speak, on the chair means you are imposing your weight on the chair. It is something like you have imposed your weight on the chair. When you say sit in the chair, there is a deep connection between you and the chair. Then the chair supports you in myriad ways. Supports you in myriad ways. It, in a way, that posture, the pen that you use, it connects you to the infinite source. Someone has asked Mirza Ghalib, the mystical poet, about his poetry. He mentioned, आते हैं ये मज़ामी ख्याल में गैब से. These thoughts come from an infinite source into me. आते हैं ये मज़ामी ख्याल में गैब से. गालिब नबाए शरोज शरीर खामा है. And when the pen moves on the piece of paper, there is a little sound which you do not hear, but there is an inaudible mystical sound as the pen moves on the paper. That is the voice of that angel that speaks through me. This is the state of those who have attained to that inner depth when they speak. It is when Vivekananda was asked in the parliament, after the Parliament of Religions, Nivedita asked, Master, when you were speaking in the Parliament of Religions, it appeared as if the rays of light was emitting out of your being. And if you had asked us to plunge into the ocean, we would have done it without a single thought. Vivekananda responded, Nivedita, you have understood the meaning. I am sure Vivekananda used a very loving name for Sister Margaret Noble, who came to be known as Nivedita. He would have said, you have understood the truth. When I was speaking at the Parliament of Religions, the words were mine, the voice was mine, sometimes even the punctuation was mine, but the force behind my voice was of that haggard man. मेरे दिल को दिल न समझो, do not consider my heart as mine. मेरे दिल को दिल न समझो, मेरी जान को जान न समझो. Do not consider my heart to be mine, my being to be mine. It is cosmic being. कोई और बोलता है, मेरी जुबान न समझो. Someone else speaks through me, not my voice. Voice is mine, but the words comes from an infinite source. So the posture, the most comfortable posture, connects you to that invisible connection, then you can say koi aur bolta hai, someone else speaks through me. But if you are trying to imitate the posture of Gautam or any other posture, then that connection cannot be established. The process of transformation of consciousness continues. Only this much for this morning. Do have a pleasant day.